There are unconfirmed reports making the rounds across social media and various news platforms, suggesting that Bello Turji, one of the most notorious bandit leaders terrorizing communities in Nigeria's northwest region, may have been eliminated in a recent military operation. According to these circulating reports, the operation that allegedly led to his neutralization was a coordinated effort involving both Nigerian military forces and support from the United States, specifically through targeted airstrikes in the region where Turji and his gang have been operating for years. For those who may not be familiar with who Bello Turji is, let me paint a picture of the kind of individual we're talking about here. Turji has been one of the most feared and ruthless bandit commanders operating in Zamfara state and the surrounding areas of northwestern Nigeria for several years now. His name has become synonymous with terror, kidnapping, cattle rustling, and the massacre of innocent villagers across multiple communities. This man and his gang have been responsible for countless attacks that have displaced thousands of families, destroyed entire villages, and created an atmosphere of fear and insecurity that has crippled normal life in many parts of Zamfara, Sokoto, and Katsina states. The activities of Turji and other bandit groups in the region have led to the closure of schools, the disruption of farming activities, and the death of countless security personnel and civilians alike. What makes Turji particularly dangerous is not just his willingness to use extreme violence, but also his ability to evade capture for so long, despite numerous military operations launched to apprehend or eliminate him. Over the years, there have been several reports and rumors about his death or capture, but each time he has either resurfaced or the reports have turned out to be false. This is why many Nigerians are approaching the current news with cautious optimism, hoping that this time the reports might actually be true, but also understanding that confirmation from official sources is absolutely necessary before celebrating. The mention of United States involvement in this operation is particularly interesting and adds another layer to the story. Nigeria has been receiving various forms of military assistance and intelligence support from the United States and other international partners in its fight against terrorism and banditry. The US has provided training, equipment, and intelligence sharing that has helped Nigerian forces in their counter-terrorism operations. If American forces or intelligence did play a role in targeting Turji, it would indicate a significant escalation in international cooperation to address the banditry crisis in northwestern Nigeria. Air operations have become an increasingly important tool in Nigeria's fight against bandits and terrorists in recent years. The Nigerian Air Force has conducted numerous strikes against bandit camps and hideouts in the forests of Zamfara, Katsina, and neighboring states, and these operations have recorded varying degrees of success. The challenging terrain of the Northwest with its thick forests and difficult-to-access areas makes ground operations extremely difficult and dangerous for troops, which is why airstrikes have become a preferred method of targeting high-value individuals and bandit camps. If you are finding this information valuable and you want to stay updated on important news like this, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on breaking news and analysis that affects our nation. The banditry crisis in northwestern Nigeria has been a major security challenge for the country over the past decade. What started as conflicts between farmers and herders gradually evolved into organized criminal enterprises involving kidnapping for ransom, cattle rustling, arms trafficking, and village raids. The bandits have established themselves in the forests and have built sophisticated networks that include informants in communities, access to weapons, and even some level of support either through coercion or financial incentives. Bello Turji himself has been a controversial figure in this crisis. There have been times when he has engaged with government officials, sometimes through intermediaries, to discuss peace deals or ceasefires. However, these periods of relative calm have always been temporary, and Turji has repeatedly returned to violent activities, leading many to question whether negotiating with such individuals is a viable strategy at all. The impact of banditry on ordinary people in the Northwest cannot be overstated. Families have been torn apart by kidnappings, farmers have been unable to access their fields due to fear of attacks, children have been unable to attend school because of security concerns, and entire communities have been displaced from their ancestral homes. The economic cost has also been enormous, with agricultural productivity declining in one of Nigeria's most important food-producing regions. Reports suggest that recent military operations in the region have intensified significantly, with increased air surveillance, ground operations, and intelligence-gathering efforts aimed at dismantling bandit networks and eliminating their leadership. The Nigerian military has been under immense pressure from the public and the government to deliver results in the fight against banditry, and there have been some reported successes in recent months. The question of whether Turji has truly been neutralized will only be answered definitively when official sources provide confirmation and evidence. In the past, there have been instances where reports of the death of high-profile criminals or terrorists turned out to be either exaggerated or completely false. This is why it is so important for us to wait for verified information before drawing conclusions. However, if these reports do turn out to be true, it would represent a major victory for Nigerian security forces and a significant blow to bandit operations in the northwest. For the communities that have suffered under Turji's reign of terror, the news of his possible elimination would bring a sense of relief and hope that perhaps their lives might return to some level of normalcy. However, experience has shown that the elimination of one bandit leader does not automatically end the problem, as these criminal networks often have structures that allow them to continue operating even after their leaders are removed. As we wait for official confirmation regarding the status of Turji, it is important to remember the countless victims of banditry in Nigeria who have lost their lives, their freedom, their property, or their sense of security. Every successful operation against bandits represents not just a military victory, but potentially the restoration of peace and normal life for communities that have been living in fear. Before we wrap up, make sure you engage with this content by leaving your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think these reports about Turji are credible? What should the government do next to address banditry in the Northwest? Subscribe to the channel and like this video to help us reach more people with important information like this.